Good evening, everybody. It is 6:30 on August 17th. We're going to go ahead and call the regular meeting of the McGregor City Council to order. Please stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. All right, we have public comments. So I believe we have a few people signed up. Well, we'll just go ahead and go in order. All right, first person to sign up was Ms. Carla Gray. Please approach the mic, identify yourself, and tell us where you live.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Carla Gray. I live at 9000 Ridge Point Drive. Is this on? Green light's on.
All right, again, please
Can-
continue.
Okay. I live at 9000 Ridge Point Drive in Waco. I apologize for reading this, but I want to make good use of my 3 minutes this evening. I own a private hangar at the McGregor Executive Airport. I entered a 30-year lease on September 9, 1996, and we are reaching the end of the lease in a few weeks. Per Section 2 of the lease agreement, I am allowed to sell the hangar with the City of McGregor having right of first refusal. If the city does not exercise their right to purchase, they receive 2.5% of the sales price. Section 12 of the lease states that this agreement may be amended in whole or in part by mutual agreement of the parties hereto. It further states changes must be made in writing and approved by the City Council. In September 1996, there was only one private hangar. 3 parties entered into leases with the city about the same time for private hangars 2, 3, and 4. The 3 parties contracted with a single builder in October 1996 to build our hangars. Unfortunately, the builder died unexpectedly prior to the start of construction. We then individually sought builders, and my hangar was completed in May 1997. Though I and my husband knew this day was coming, March 2026 threw us some health-related curveballs that required immediate treatment and made it difficult to focus on this issue until now. Though an option, we did not anticipate the city would be interested in purchasing our hangar, as there have been approximately 6 sales among the other 3 hangars over the years without the city opting to purchase any. We are confident we can sell the hangar by the expiration of the current lease and rent it back from the buyer, giving us the time we need to sell our planes and vacate. My husband contacted the city on August 4th to discuss other options available via our lease. Trying to keep things simple and less costly while observing the city's right to proceeds from a sale, we proposed paying the city the 2.5% fee while allowing us to retain ownership by either exercising the right to amend the existing contract via Section 12 of the lease, or entering a new lease with my husband. We received a call last Friday, August 14th, that concerned us that the city is not taking into account all terms of our lease. Our understanding during this call was the city expected to take ownership of the hangar at the end of the lease and would be willing to lease it back to us for some undetermined period of time, completely ignoring our right to sell and right to modify if mutually agreed upon. We are here tonight asking for consideration of a mutually beneficial plan forward. Either of the proposals that we proposed, modifying the current lease or entering a new lease in my husband's name, gives the city the identical financial benefit, 2.5% of the sales price that they will see in a third-party sale, while saving us time, money, and stress of completing the sale, especially in what is now a very compressed window. Our apology for the lateness of this request. We just learned of these concerns on Friday the 14th. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Gray. Next on the list is Reverend Roosevelt Phillips, Jr. Mr. Rowe, how are you doing today?
All right, how you doing? Good evening, Mayor, City Manager Evans, and the rest of the council. I also apologize for something I have to read. Before I read it wholeheartedly, I don't get in y'all emotional back and forth. So I done some research, and a wise man once told me, if you come with a problem, come with 3 solutions. And that's what I'm trying to say tonight. The first thing is the citizens want to see some transparency on a lot of stuff, and that would help everything tremendously. And I live here in McGregor at 801 South Adams. Tonight I'm speaking regarding FY27 budget and tax rate hearing. The proposed tax rate increase places an unbearable burden on the regular household budgets. I asked the council to reject the baseline spending growth. Strictly look at, I'm not telling you what to do, I'm giving you some suggestions. Look at long-term debt obligations and bring the budget closer to a flat rate before passing the cost on the property owners. The property owners are already feeling stress on a lot of stuff, such as the water rates. The water rates are technically unchanged. Multiple and residential neighbors are opening bills exceeding $800. We need formal transparency regarding base utility fees and a direct audit in heavy industrial corporations. Local families cannot afford this type of increase. And at the end of what I got to say, McGregor is a very nice place. McGregor is a very together place. If we keep going in the direction we're going to separate city government from these people back here that vote for y'all. And that's nothing we want to do. God bless you, Mayor. God bless City Council. God bless McGregor.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Easter Glenn.
Yes, my name is Easter Glenn. I'm sure most of you know me. I live on Johnson Street. And my first agenda is the city proposed like over $200,000 for a replacement street sweeper. And my question is that necessary to spend that much money on a street sweeper when we have so many holes and we don't have that many curbs for the sweeps, for them to be sweeping? So is that really necessary to spend that much money on a street sweeper? So anybody can answer that.
Oh, okay, you want an answer now? Yeah, the street sweeper we have is old, degraded, and falling apart. They have to work on it every time they want to use it.
So we just have one? That's it?
Yes.
We paying that much money for one?
Yes.
And it takes care of the whole city of McGregor?
Yes.
On the outside? Because since I've been retired for 2 years, I've only seen the street sweeper on Johnson Street twice. And he really wasn't sweeping that much. Because I sweep my own curbs and all that, so I don't even know why it's necessary to spend that kind of money. Seemed like we could save some money by slashing some of that. The next one was spending over $20,000 or so for a new pickup truck for your fleet. Now, I see a lot of brand new trucks riding around town, as is, because I'm home mostly during the daytime anyway. So, and I see them not doing too much of nothing but just riding up and down the streets, wasting gas. So can we do we really need another vehicle, brand new vehicle for them to be riding around in? Anybody?
Please keep going.
Oh, okay. All right. Another thing is the parks. Okay, Casting Park, which I live across from there. This whole summer, I have not seen those guys over there doing too much of anything. The pathway where you walk is full of weeds. They don't even spray or nothing. They just over there, when they're there, they may be cutting around, the volleyball, where they play volleyball at, some of the kids do sometimes, they'll be cutting around there, or they may do the softball field occasionally to do that. But how can people walk over there when it's weeds everywhere, all the way around that pathway, and the fence is broken down, it's laying all over? Now, if I go over here on this side of town to Brewerly Park, I see a nice pickleball, a nice tennis court, nice fences. Y'all pave the streets, nice for little parking and all that, but we don't get that kind of treatment on that side of town. So I'm wondering, what's the holdup on that?
Well, you'll be happy to know the casting park is now next in line. We've done work over at Amsler Park. We've done work at Bewley Park. Casting is next.
So what is the proposed to do over there? Can you tell the people of McGregor here that like to walk over there, what do we expect? Do we get a pickleball over there? Do we get a
Do you
nice?
want one?
Sure. I can go out there and exercise on it.
Okay, well, that'd be a good time for everybody to kind of speak up on what they want to see happen at Casting Park.
Okay, that's good with me. And the streets, one more thing on the streets. How do y'all go about what street gets, surfaced first? Or do y'all have some kind of, whatever that y'all go by? Who needs what first? Because there's so many holes in the streets.
We go by recommendations of our engineers. Bowie and 3rd Street are next on the list.
Okay. It's 3rd Street. Okay. All right. Those are my questions for now.
All right. All right, Cameron Tani.
Okay, I also have something prepared because I want to respect everyone's times. My name is Cameron Tani. I'm a resident of Ward 4, and I'm here to voice my concerns about the values of this council and the impact your decisions will have on the future of this town. I'll start with my own perspective. I'm the daughter of a farmer and rancher. If there's one thing that profession teaches you, it's the priceless value of land, of healthy, functioning land that you can pass on to the next generation. That remains intact for wildlife and for quality of life. I wish the council would value McGregor in that way. At what point did this council decide to start putting industry above it? If it was about the well-being of citizens, if it was about adding jobs, explain Galaxy. If it's about the health and well-being of citizens, explain the steel mill. And if it's about creating higher tax base, explain this budget. And I'll admit, I don't have a degree in city planning. I'm not attacking this budget because I don't know how to provide a better one. And I'm not here to just complain and point fingers. I hate hypocrisy, and I'm trying to help McGregor a better place to live. But how can I make my voice heard when this council actively avoids listening to us prior to these decisions? I asked my council representative, how can I stay informed on what this city is proposing without just going to Facebook gossip? I was told read the newspaper or talk to the council. When the newspaper can only report on decisions that have already been made, meetings get moved around or held in secret, and when NDAs get signed, what are we supposed to do? Just vote better next time? I will, but in the meantime, I'm begging each of you to actually look at the research on the water crisis, not just in Texas, but across the country. This isn't just a dry year or an inflated fear, conspiracy, or a political talking point. It's evidenced by the Colorado River, by Lake Powell, by Lake Mead, and the Edwards Aquifer, by the proposed plan to flood over 50,000 acres of privately owned land in East Texas. And I've talked to people at Brazos River Authority, who I know we work with, so I think there's reason to plan for the future. And in addition to the scarcity of water, we now have to fear the quality of it. And this isn't just about the data center. This is about looking at the price tags and cutting deals for industry while we take the hit for it. And I'm asking this council to budget our water for the future, to plan for generations ahead, to think about our air quality, to think about our agricultural industry, and to stop cutting us out of the conversation. You say these things have to be done this way, and I think that's not honest. I think sometimes it's best for businesses, and businesses don't have a stake in the community except for an economic one most of the time. I would love to have the opportunity to discuss with any council member or city official the importance of protecting our water, of planning for community environmental health, if it would have any real impact on your decision making. I wish you would have considered what you actually sold and who you sold it to when you sold that land. And there's an importance of having a strong economy, but when you sacrifice the community for it, what's the point? And what are we getting with these tax increasements? Improvements or just standard operations? And why does the transparency seem to be eroding? I'm speaking because I care about this town and I want to do what I can to make it better. I don't want to just point fingers and say that I have no part in it, but I have to be informed first. So I just ask that y'all be willing to include citizens on matters that will affect us from here on out. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Is there a way to turn the microphone on so people in the back can definitely hear what you say?
The microphone only records for the YouTube channel. It's not, there's not a speaker being recorded.
Can we buy one of those?
All right.
Well, can the speaker turn to the side?
Ms.
Mayor?
Thompson.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
can the speaker turn to the side because I don't like to hear somebody speak and I'm looking at their back. How about because we're getting.
Why don't we go ahead and approach the other microphone?
Okay, we'll use this one. Hopefully this one's on. Is this one better? Maybe? All right. I have nothing, it's not any better? Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm Andrea Thompson, and I spoke at the last meeting, and I have nothing prepared. But I would like to encourage, please, I know this is not a government by referendum, it's a government by representation, but we as residents of McGregor, although I'm an outsider, I live on the outskirts, we deserve to have the representation of our council members hearing what our concerns are. That means having open meetings. That means printing minutes on the website. There are no council meeting minutes on the website. We have nowhere to find them easily. It would just be nice. I went to a meeting down at A&M this last week. 1,000 people down there. The director of the Texas A&M Research Center was down there. I said, "What do you know about the data center?" He said, "What data center?" That's kind of concerning when they're right across the road. This is not about data centers or what business is coming in or out. This is about sharing with the citizens of McGregor and trusting the citizens of McGregor to actually be excited about the new projects that are coming in. And if it's a questionable project, then give us the information so we can be excited about the projects that are coming in. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Melanie Russell.
Hello, my name is Melanie Russell. I live on Austin Street in McGregor. We bought our home in 2023. I'm a mom of 5. My husband is an alumni here, and we are just now kind of learning how the tax world works as homeowners now. And I feel like we've been let down by the council. The lack of transparency, the money doesn't make sense, the math ain't mathin'. Why is our city manager being paid more than most city managers around Texas with way less residents? Yes, way less residents. Again, I'm still learning this, so I've been learning a lot from Dennis Feller, the one that all of you have been neglecting to return comments to or even address any of his concerns. All he's trying to do is make it make sense for us. He's offered different proposals on how we could drop the tax rate with no avail to communicate to him. He did send Angela a message that he wanted addressed tonight, but I won't hold my breath. I did have questions prepared to ask, but they already asked them. And so I'm just here as a concerned resident. Again, I'm a mom of 5. Our water bill's over $300 a month. Our electricity bill's over $500 a month. I live in a $120,000 home. I shouldn't be paying that much, okay? It's not a huge tax bill because of the cost of my home. We're remodeling, but that kind of increase, 18%, is gonna be a huge hit on my family and my family size, especially with teenagers and with gas and everything else increasing. So a little bit more transparency would go a long way. My husband gets off of work after sometimes working 10 to 11 hours, and then he goes and mows Amsler Park so our girls can practice on the softball field. But we have a 60 increase for parks that we're about to be paying for. But my husband, on his own time and dime, goes out and maintenances our parks because they're so neglected. And I don't understand that. So I just hope that, you know, we can learn from this situation, change it, and I don't understand why there's only a 5% required voter for an unopposed mayor. Why is it 5%? Is that what y'all vote on that is required to have from the residents? I don't know, maybe you can explain that, because you were unopposed and we never got a vote. We still haven't gotten a vote for the data centers. We haven't gotten a vote for anything, and everything's hush hush. And where there are lack of transparencies, there's always hidden agendas. So maybe you can address those hidden agendas and make your residents more happier. So thank you for your time.
All right, Ms. Anna Kaiser.
Hi, I'm Anna Kaiser, and I live at 113 Red Oak, and I didn't come prepared to speak, but I had a couple of people with some questions, so I'm going to ask them for them. One of them was, why do we need an assistant manager for the city of McGregor this size? Another one was, why do we need 3 new patrol cars? Basically, it's, can't we cut back? People are hurting, times are hard, and why are we going above and beyond, getting 3 cars instead of 2? The street sweeper is a big issue. I've lived here since 2007. The only time I've ever seen the street sweeper is when they redid Red Oak, and we tried to tell them then they were wasting their money. They wouldn't listen. They had to come and sweep dust for like a month because it was, and it did no good because it came all in the house. But needless to say, that's the only time I've ever seen the street sweeper on our road. Other thing is transparency as well. And I've been told by my council member that you're working on that. But how long is it going to take to be transparent with the city, with the citizens? And it's not funny, so I don't know what she's laughing at over there. I don't see anything funny about it.
I mean, what you were saying.
Okay, well, it's not a laughing matter. Anyway, I did have the opportunity to speak to Renee and Lee, and they tried to explain some of the ins and outs of how the city works and how the budget was being presented. I still think that and hope that y'all will do some cutbacks on the city budget, just to show the citizens that y'all are listening to them and hear what they're saying. Like I said, the other big thing is transparency. Stop leaving the citizens out, like somebody said, and try to include everyone in decisions before they're just made. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Janet Shockley.
I'm going to yield the floor to my husband, William Shockley.
All right, Mr. William Shockley, come on up.
My name is William Shockley. I live in 1105 West 3A Street, and I know a lot of people feel like I do. We all feel like we're not being informed on a lot of stuff. We feel like everything's hush-hush, and I'm gonna look y'all all in the eyes and just listen, because we all feel like we've just been shafted. We really do. Data center, a lot of stuff, a lot of spending. Streets, I was up here last time. My street never got, potholes never got filled. I was told they was going to, but they never did. Never did. So, and the taxes. Man, we're all getting hit hard now. I mean, times are rough. It really is. And the ones that own homes, we all feel like, hey, you know, enough's enough. Everybody works so hard. It's just really tough. So, I just feel like we just need a break. And that y'all just really need to cut back on some things and look at it and just take a moment. Just let us know, but we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Miss Olivia Knowles.
My apologies. I did not actually mean to sign my name or Tyler's. I didn't know, wasn't aware it was the speaking list.
Oh, okay.
So we're good.
All right. Madison Bishop.
Hello. I'll come over here. Hello. I live at 1401 West Windsor Road. I also teach 4 different preps in the social studies department at the high school. I have some questions. I had a friend, or more so just things that I would like to have maybe answered. My email is mbishop@mcgregorisd.org. I had a friend that also sits on the McGregor Movement Board with me, Jessie Turner. She got a hold with Renee Flores and had her answer some questions, and the questions that Renee could not answer, she led her to someone that could, so I appreciate that from you. Some of the questions that I have, number one, in the email that was responded from the data center recipient that responded to Jesse's email, he said that if the water is taken too much, so 3,000 gallons for each 10 buildings that they're going to be using, that the city will be responsible to shut off those water meters for them to use. And so my question is, when SpaceX goes over those sound barriers or over the time, they just pay a fee to the city to suffice that. And sound and all of these things, the shakes and past 9 with the fee, is this going to be the same consequence with the fee, or are we actually going to shut them down at that allotted time or measure of water? And then my next question, this is for the athletes of McGregor. I'm watching a lot of things go down with the heat waves. And so my question is, in the email that he responded, and I'll find his name and can send this to y'all if you would like, he mentioned that there would and could be a 4-degree heat wave. And so right now with that bulb, and the coaches are kind of explaining it to me, and my son plays tackle football this year, but they're struggling to even stay outside in increments of 20 minutes because it's so hot. So what are we going to do for the schools and the children to combat that heat when they can't be outside longer than 20 minutes for a water break? And that's all I have.
All right. Renee, did you take down the email as well? Okay. We have your email. We'll see if we can't get those answers. And the last one is Christina Pace.
Hello, my name is Christina Pace. I am the daughter of longtime McGregor residents Maria and Bobby Pace. They have lived here for over 30 years. My father graduated from McGregor High School in 1974, and I graduated from the same school in 2014. I bring this up to show that I am a longtime native to the McGregor area, and thus my concerns regarding the proposed Galaxy Data Center, as others have done, comes from a place of local connection and history. My concerns start with Galaxy's water usage and its effect on McGregor's water supply, which is already being challenged by SpaceX going past water limits for the last 3 years. Each building, according to Galaxy's presentation to the McGregor City Council on June 22nd, is estimated to use about 3,000 gallons of water a day. This doesn't sound like a lot until you account for the fact that Galaxy's contract right now allows for up to 10 buildings, bringing daily water usage to 30,000 gallons. This is equivalent to using an in-ground pool's worth of water per day. While this number still seems small in comparison to other data centers, Galaxy's consumption could increase as the crypto trader and AI company expands. With their plans to make the McGregor Data Center a, quote, multi-hundred megawatt campus by 2030, this could result in a much higher water usage than expected. It is also worth mentioning that while Galaxy's first data center in Dickens County has been a boon for the area, the demographics of Dickens County differ from that of McGregor. The population count of McGregor, Texas is currently sitting at around 6,405 as of 2025 estimates from Wikipedia. Comparison, Dickens County, the entire county, has a population of 1,692. Therefore, local demand for resources in McGregor is much higher than it is for the entire county of Dickens. And it is hard not to imagine how this will affect residents. I understand that the 500 acres is already under contract and not much may be changed from this point forward. However, I implore the city of McGregor to reflect on this decision and how it can impact residents in the years to come. Since opening in 2003, SpaceX has had issues with McGregor that didn't start becoming a problem until its 15th year in operation. It isn't far-fetched to wonder how Galaxy's actions today will affect McGregor and its residents 10 or 20 years down the line. I don't usually go to these, but I just wanted to make my opinion known. Thank you.
Ms. Pace?
Yes.
What was your address?
I live at 1700 Breezy in Hewitt, Texas, but my mom and dad live at 123 Redwood Road in McGregor.
Okay, thank you.
What was your street
1700 Breezy Drive.
Your parents, I'm sorry.
Oh, 123 Redwood.
Right.
Okay. All right. All right, we're going to move on to the consent agenda, and that has to do with the minutes of the July 13 and July 31st meetings. We have them right here in front of us. Are there any changes or corrections that need to be made? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the city council meetings for July 13th and July 31st.
Can't hear you, I cannot hear you guys.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes from the 13th and 31st of July 2026. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. That motion carries.
He's dead.
Actually, yeah, the mic's on.
Brian, you know why the mic's up here not working?
All right. Just so everybody knows, I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling to you. All right, item number 2. Hold a public hearing on proposal to adopt tax rate of .566988 per $100 valuation. This rate exceeds the no new revenue tax rate and does not exceed the voter approval tax rate. All right, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing at 7:03. If anybody, other than those that have already spoken about it, is there anybody else that would like to speak during the public hearing? Yes. Please do.
Hello. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Jackie Boswell. I live off of 913 South Madison Street. And as far as the street sweepers, I've never once seen a street sweeper on my street ever, as long as I've lived there. 2, one of the things about the data center, I want to ask a question that if something were to happen with the data center, I want to know, do y'all have a bond for that? Are y'all going to consider having a bond or have a bond for that so that that won't be passed on to the taxpayers? And do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I'm sorry. What is the question?
On the data center?
Yes.
If y'all build a data center and something happened to where maybe down the road or whatever, and something happens to the data center for whatever reason, are y'all going to have a bond to cover that, and it won't pass on to the taxpayers, the citizens? Yes.
Okay. No, I don't think there's any talks on a bond right now. We have
Well-
right for refusal if they decide that they want to sell that property.
Okay, well, I just want to, put that out there because I think that's something that needs to be considered, because along with the taxes and all that, we don't need that extra in case something happens. And then another thing too, from my understanding, like everybody else knows about Dennis Feller, but one thing I want to know is y'all sold that land to the data center people now, but you're raising our taxes. You're talking about raising our taxes. Why didn't y'all sell that land to them, and pass that cost to them more than enough to where you don't have to pass the taxes on to us as citizens?
That is a very good question.
So I just feel like y'all basically kind of sold that land for dirt cheap, really, for a company like the data center.
All right.
So that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, anybody else want to speak on this topic? No, yes.
I didn't come prepared. Taxes.
Please
Oh.
identify yourself.
That's not working. So Tammy Laux, 2540 Plainview Road. So the taxes. You raise these taxes, you raise them on us and you raise them on the businesses. I try really hard to shop in McGregor, okay? When you raise them on the city, on the businesses, we're getting double whammied because we're getting our taxes raised at home, the taxes are getting raised on the businesses have to raise the taxes back on us for them to stay in business. And I don't think you guys are taking that into effect. I'd like to know how many of you, how many of you actually live in McGregor? Do you all live in McGregor?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. The street sweeper. Why do we have a street sweeper that can only do along curbs? Because we've got a bunch of dirt on 84 and 317 that's causing rocks to go up on cars that are going through. And I don't know what happened there, but there's a bunch there. Do we know the side effects of the data center? No? No, we don't. Did you look at that before you voted on it?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so what are those side effects?
We are not seeing any negligible side effects.
Right now, because it's not built, correct?
Right. Look at the ones that are already, they haven't been around long enough to have studies done.
So somebody mentioned heat earlier about being outside. Are those data centers going to cause the heat in McGregor to go up? And you're not considering that about our children or us. You're just fly by the wing. I don't know if you guys are getting paid by this or I don't know.
Oh, wow.
And then the side effects, the electricity that goes to the data center, do they have their own electrical grid? Because if not, what happens in February when we get our coldest weather storms and everything shuts down for us? We're lucky enough and fortunate enough that we have a generator. But what about the people who don't?
Well,
was any consideration
yes,
done for those people?
Galaxy goes, they have a switch that is actually operated by Brazos River or Brazos Electric Co-op. So they can shut down the data center anytime they want to.
Will they though? Will they? Because they're collecting data. Will they? And when you voted on this, did you make these situations mandatory for them? Or did you just say, here you go, you can have the property? And like somebody else said, why were these costs not put back onto them? Why are they not put back onto SpaceX instead of screwing us over? And I don't mean that disrespectfully to you guys at all. But you are, how do I say this? The mouth that feeds us, kind of. And there's no consideration, and all of you are just kind of sitting there. This one doesn't even look at you when you speak. He just kind of looks down. This one laughs. There's just nothing from you. This is the first time I've been to a meeting, and now I understand why people don't go. And Bonnie just shakes her head. So, or whatever your name is.
Well, we've got to continue this meeting to topic.
Yeah.
We have to.
May I speak?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna name these companies that's come into McGregor. If I,
Name, address?
huh?
Your name and address.
Oh, I'm sorry. Deetra Harmon. I live out on 506 Willow Way. Okay, these are the companies that I'm most concerned about. They have come into McGregor. I may be pronouncing this one wrong. Canal. Okay.
Insulation.
Yeah. And then you got the data center. Then you got SpaceX. And then I'm looking at Hercules when it was here. What I'm most concerned about, the health of the citizens here in McGregor. We've got stuff coming from all directions. Have y'all considered bringing in some sort of organization to test our water, environmental, to test our water, our air, or whatever? Because we've got a lot of stuff. Hercules has left. Before Hercules, I'm telling my age, but it was Rocketdyne. And you know what they had out there. And so you know that stuff went into the ground and in the air, but that ground stuff is still there. And then you got these other companies that's coming in that will be giving off Lord knows what's in the air. Long term, half McGregor will be dead by then. If you don't bring somebody in and have the air, the water, and all that tested, what are we gonna do? With these babies coming up, it's gonna be all kind of cancers and stuff. It may not affect us because we older, but it's gonna catch these younger ones coming in. And this stuff needs to be looked into just rather than just accepting it. And as far as Elon Musk, when he brought in SpaceX, and I know, now I watch TV and I watch the news, the things that he's doing in Texas is what he could not do in California. And I heard what he said that day, I'm gonna pack up my company and I'm going to Texas. I don't have to worry about all these rules and regulations. And you see what's happening. He lies, he don't care nothing about nobody but the money that he can get. And you can rest assured, he done cheated the city of McGregor because he's probably looking at the officials here as being little country bumpkins. And if you notice, he's not taking them data centers into large town, he's going into these small areas. He feels like they ain't got no money to fight me. I can get away with anything. Who gonna stop me? We don't have the money. We don't have the money. All we can do is pray on it. So I'm telling you guys, y'all need to stop accepting everything come this way, because they're not looking at y'all as smart as a kid on the block. Don't ever think that, because these larger people come from these larger cities. They look at people in small areas as being dumb, and they can get over. So everybody here, they're here for a purpose. They're not here to start trouble, but they're here to keep McGregor growing and not die off with people moving away and whatever. Thank you.
All right. Now, does anybody else want to speak on the tax rate? That's what this public hearing is about. If not, then we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 7:14, and we're going to take a short recess. Because
nomenclature backwards.
I changed them. I didn't know it. That's fine, yeah. That's her, this is me, that's me.
Okay, I apologize for the break. My wife was just in an auto accident. I had to find out if she was all right. All right, we're going to go ahead and resume the meeting at 7:16. And item number 3 on the agenda is hold public hearing on proposed budget for fiscal year 26-27. Would anybody like to speak on the budget that hasn't already spoken on the budget? Yes, sir. Please do.
My name is Ronnie Guerra. I live at 118 Red Oak Road. Are y'all proposing an 18% increase? Is that true, or is that just something that somebody posted out there?
That is something that somebody posted out. Lee, could you give us a number?
Yeah, y'all were talking about the 18%. Is that in the general fund? Yeah.
That is correct?
So it shows as an 18% increase. What has been in the budget presentations the last couple of times is that 18% is also the $1 million transfer in for the sale of land. That has nothing to do with tax rate. That has nothing to do. That's money that we've already got because we've already closed on the data center. So this money, the purchases for like the street sweeper, the bucket truck, those large expenses like that, they have no effect on citizen tax rates.
On personal property taxes? Or?
Yeah, personal, real property, any property tax that has nothing to do with individuals. Because that's the, some of the money from the sale of the land, we moved to the general fund in order to provide these items to essentially serve the public better, we hope.
And what was the amount of money?
It was $1 million.
$1 million?
Yes, sir.
And you don't know what percent you put into a fund, or what happened to all the other money, to the other part of it?
Yes, so the money from the sale of the land was in total, sorry, I misunderstood the question. The money from the sale of the land is about $7.5 million. The money that I was authorized to move into the general fund was $1 million. So the rest of that money is sitting in the McGregor Industrial Park Fund. That fund acts as a capital improvements, capital purchase fund, more or less. That money, because we can't spend all of it in 1 year. It's just not logical. It's not realistic. But what we can do is reinvest it in the community. We can spend it through multi-year projects. Because that money doesn't sit there. It doesn't get paid out to anybody. It just sits in the bank until we are able to use it.
And we get interest on that money, right?
Yes, ma'am. That interest goes directly back because it's conservatively held in an investment pool like Logic or Textpool. There's state investment pools. It's FDIC insured. All that money sits in there. It gets a interest rate of return, goes directly back in there. I can't speak on a solid figure like how much in interest did we earn this month on that $7.5 million. I could probably figure it out if you wanted me to, but that goes directly back into the fund. So that $7.5 million, by the time we use it, is going to be a little bit more. That's the interest we earn is directly spent on projects for the public, projects for y'all, and stuff like this. The bucket truck, like the street sweeper, and the general fund. Yes, Parks? And Parks too.
Okay.
Yes, Parks too. Parks too. Parks is in the general fund. Sorry, I should have mentioned.
That's my next question. I mean, that's an incredible amount of money that you're going to have sitting there. Why are you even considering trying to raise a tax rate? I mean, you just received excuse my language, shitload of money. So, I mean, like the gentleman said, we're all hurting. Our water rates are crazy, but yet we waste water like it's just no big deal. I mean, we have a splash pad that one kid will be at, and it runs all day long. I don't know how many thousands of gallons it uses a day, but I live right there at Amsler Park, so I see it. I mean, I sit in my backyard and I watch it, and I'm like, I can't believe this. I'm paying $300 to barely keep my yard alive, and here this thing's just sitting there running with one little kid going over there and hitting the button every 2 seconds. But that's a lot of money that y'all received on the land sale. We're gonna use a lot of water for that, but do we really need the tax rate increase? Y'all need to really consider that with that amount of money.
The interest alone would help pay your salaries and reduce our taxes.
They don't get paid. Only one to get paid.
The manager does way too much.
All right, anybody else want to talk on the budget?
Just a real quick question. I'm Andrea Thompson off Old Oglesby Road. The SpaceX fines, they're currently directed to be parks, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Is there a way to, because I saw the fines last year were like $325,000. Is there a way to roll that into the discretionary budget, the general fund, and use that for the bucket truck and, you know, that and street sweeper or whatever? Because from what I understand, there's also the Economic Development Board already has funds set aside also for parks on top of that. So the funds from SpaceX fines that are going to parks that are being mowed by individuals, you know, and it doesn't seem like that's balancing out as well for the services that are being done, I guess.
Right, well, the fines to SpaceX were originally earmarked for parks.
Is there a way to change that for this year?
I imagine we could probably go back and take a council vote on that to
Okay.
to make a change.
I mean, would that be enough contribution from them? I know that, shoot, they had a 95 decibel test the other night at my house, but I don't know who's monitoring their, I don't know where their monitoring stations are for their, you know, their fine setting. I know the hours are set, but what's their decibel, you know, penalty? Who's monitoring the decibel penalties? Is it them, or is it somebody on the council, or is it somebody designated to do that?
All the tests are recorded and they're sent to our city manager to look over to make sure that they're not exceeding their decibel.
But it's self-reported by SpaceX, or do we have our own? Does McGregor
we don't
have
have our own out there, right, Kevin?
Well, it's our monitor.
Well, it's our monitor. But
Okay, so it's your own monitoring system, okay,
yeah.
okay. That's what I wanted to know, thanks.
All right, thank you.
I have a neighbor that had a little box put on their home. Do you know that those tests are the equivalent to a 7.0 earthquake?
I can see that the old horizontal test stands. Yeah, I can really see that. All right. We're going to go ahead and close the public hearing at 7:24. Move on to discussion possible action regarding the approval of ordinance O-06-2026, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of McGregor, Texas, adopting the budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2026 and ending September 30th, 2027, and making appropriations for each department, project, and account for said year in accordance with the city charter of the City of McGregor, Texas, and the laws of the state of Texas, providing a severability clause and providing an effective date. That is a mouthful. All right, so we've already heard what our public thinks about the budget, and I would tend to agree with them. I think we need to definitely look at cutting the fat a little bit if there's areas that we can. I I think this is definitely a show of not just one or two people complaining, because that's what they like to do. This is a matter of the public actually coming out and speaking, and I appreciate that. So at this point in time, I am going to go ahead and skip on our agenda. No, that's my prerogative to go ahead and skip the agenda items if we want to. So let's go on number 8, and we're going to receive financials as of June 30th, 2026, and quarterly investment report.
Mayor and Council, thank you for your time. I'm going to go right into the financial summary. This is as of June, so about a couple months back. June is 3/4 of the fiscal year, 75%. When we look at the, yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am, of course. When we look at some of the bigger funds that we keep an eye on, the general fund, utility fund, exchange, and the airport, and we look at revenues and expenses across the way, we see they're all tracking fairly well to be at a 75% way through the year. So general fund, 77% of revenues, 70.3% of expenses. Utility fund, 87.9% of revenues and 60.5% of expenses. The exchange is 70.9% and 86.9%, and the airport is 67.2 and 45.7. Okay. Oops, sorry. What was the question?
Just numbers, that's what
Yeah.
they
Know what the
detail about.
I mean, and Adam, you look at numbers all day long.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I bring on new hires and I said, this doesn't tell me anything, it's just a bunch of horrible numbers.
Absolutely. I can take that into consideration. I will say that this is the report that that has been presented in the past. It's a financial report. I can explain it, but let me finish the presentation, please, because it does, we go.
Excuse me.
There's no on. We don't even know what we just saw.
Okay, what you saw was June. These are our financial reports as of June. June being 75% of the fiscal year. Your percentages are your year-to-date totals.
Yes, and the reason I was moving on, I didn't mean to make the slide disappear. We're going into a little bit of a bigger explanation here in these next slides as we compare. Oh, there we go. Okay, as we compare the general fund, for instance, from this year to last year, and just kind of seeing where our differences are, what we're looking at, comparing budget to actual, seeing where we're at. So the general fund net cash flow outside of the $1 million transfer in fiscal year 25 is $211.6 thousand higher than the previous year. The revenues are up $60.2 thousand due to expected increases in franchise fees. The expenditures are down $151.4 thousand compared to the same period. The expenditure decreases are primarily due to the Waco Industrial Foundation payment of $299,000. In fiscal year 25, it was paid out from the general fund. In fiscal year 26, it was paid out from the industrial park fund. And that difference is offset by an increase in budgeted personnel costs, budgeted capital, things like that. Okay. So for the utility fund net cash flow is $313,000 higher. Revenue is up $665.6, and expenditures are up $352.6. The revenue increase relates to an increase in water use and budgeted rates to prepare for the wholesale cost increase. The expenditure increases relate to an increase in waste management fees, timing of capital expenditures, increase in personnel costs as budgeted. So for the exchange net cash flows are up 21.1 thousand compared to the same period last year. Revenues are up 24.9 thousand, commensurate with the fee schedule increases last year. And expenses are down 3.8 thousand. That small kind of decrease is anything due to timing of receipt of revenues, disbursement of expenditures. Right. The airport funds, net cash flows are up 6.3 thousand compared to the same period. Revenues are down 5.3 thousand. Expenses are down 11.6 thousand. Expenses are expected to fluctuate, again, with timing and purchase of capital and just different projects that we have going on at the airport, like the capital projects or other expenditures that are reimbursed by the RAMP grant, such as the terminal remodel last year in fiscal year 25. Neat. And so here, I'll pause a little bit so we can look at the number. This is our cash flow report for June. This shows all of the funds. Whenever we go to the next slide, it's going to break it down a little bit into more logical terms. Good. Okay, there's our cash flow report, and if you look at the bottom, you can see the total. There it is. Okay. So net cash in the bank is 6.2 million more than the same period last year. Operating accounts are up 9.2. Pooled cash is up 1 million. Grants are down 416,000, and capital projects are down 3.5 million, which is to be expected as we receive money in a different fiscal year. We spend money in the later fiscal year. Okay. Alrighty. And here's a chart of our sales tax. As has been discussed in previous council meetings, if we look at fiscal year 23, 24, 25, a little bit of that sales tax revenue is attributable to construction projects out in the industrial park fund. In fiscal year 26, there haven't been as much lately, just with the timing of projects. So that's why we see the decline there. If you look at fiscal year 22 as compared to fiscal year 26, you can see sort of that natural increase without so much of the temperament of the projects out in the industrial park fund. I will say too, this is as of June. We've gotten July and August from the comptroller. Those months are higher than the same months last year. So we are making up for that essentially. We're revenues, sir. Yes. The sales tax revenue, they're trending upward, closer to where we'd expect with that trend line. It's just, we're not seeing that in the graph because those 3 years, as discussed, where a lot of that additional revenue on top of that was for construction projects out in the industrial park. There's a little bit of sales tax generated from that. Alrighty.
Sir,
oh, yes.
I do understand this spreadsheet, but I got a question.
Yes, sir.
You got industrial and residential done together on your spreadsheet?
For which portion of the spread, the sales tax, or? Yes, sir. That's all together.
Industrial and residential, you got them combined.
Yes, sir. There's.
You're a number person. You don't think they should be separated?
There's no real logical way to do that. The number we get is not disaggregated in any way. It's just received from the comptroller's office. Do you, what was that? I'm sorry.
It's aggregated all together?
Yes, sir. It's aggregated all together. There's no real way to break down that number. We can investigate. There are these confidential information reports which we can get, but we can't speak about in public meetings. Yes, sir. Yeah. So we're tracking that, and we know more or less what the difference is, but we can't attribute it to a single individual or anything like that in a public meeting. But that is what we've seen when we look at historical information reports like that. Yes, sir. Yes, of course. This next slide is our investment report. So we can see that cash in the bank, this is as of June, it's quarterly, so the last time we reported on this was March. Cash in the bank increased by 5.4 million. The cash and investments, I should say, on hand at the end of this quarter is 34.6 million. The interest earned, this is that interest we were talking about. In the second quarter of the calendar year, year 2026 is 219,000. The fiscal year-to-date earnings of 3 quarters are 741,872. I believe that's the last slide. I just want to make sure. Okay, everybody got the pictures they needed.
All right.
But council, that is the
Council,
financial
have any questions for
report. Is there any questions for me?
All right, thank you, Lee.
Yes, thank you.
All right, item 9 is discussion regarding appointments to city boards and commissions, with appointments to be made at the regular council meeting to be held on September 14th. Council has received a list of expiring terms on the city boards. And please read through all these. If you know somebody that would make a great addition to one of those boards, please let them know.
What's the date to submit to Angela?
I don't have that notice in front of me, it's in the paper. Right offhand, I think it's the end of August, but I can get that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have to be in the city limits, or can you be like outside on your thing to sit on this board?
To sit on council, you have to live within the city limits.
That's in your city council.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move right along. Items 5, 6, and 7, 4, 5, 6, and 7 will be addressed after closed meeting, which there's also a piece of land that is going to be up for discussion. So, item number 10, closed meeting pursuant to Chapter 551 Texas Government Code in accordance with the authority contained in Section 551.071 legal and Section 551.087 economic development. So it is 7:38. We're going to adjourn to closed session at the moment. And I would encourage everybody to stay because we're going to have some pretty good discussion afterwards.
It is August the 28th is the deadline.
Deadlines.
The letters of interest for the board.
Thank you.
I'm sorry?
I know we're going on one, if somebody wants to go on the council, the members of McGregor get to vote on that.
Yes.
It's an election, every next, for city council. All these other boards, though, you can submit an application, and we'll review them on 14 and then make decisions.
You understand that? Boards are not voted, they're appointed. Council is voted.
read through the entire agenda item.
I make a motion to approve the sale of 4.188 acres tract of land located in the Jesse Russell Senior Survey, and the remainder of this in Clinton County to Texas A&M University.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. That motion carries. We'll now go back to, yes.
A&M gets it for 5,000 an acre.
And how many acres you say?
4.
4 acres. And so-
Actually, it may be 5,000, yeah, it's 5,000.
Yeah.
And so that money goes back into.
MIP fund, McGregor Industrial Park Fund.
All right, going back to item 4, discussion possible action regarding the approval of ordinance O-06-2026 and the ordinance of the City Council of the City of McGregor, Texas, adopting the budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2026 and ending on September 30th, 2027, and making appropriations for each department, project, and account for said year in accordance with the city charter of the City of McGregor, Texas, and the laws of the state of Texas, providing a severability clause and providing an effective date. Okay, we've heard the concerns of our public. We can go ahead and make a motion altering the ordinance, but that is up to council.
Is it possible to see a breakdown? I know you're not getting more time here. Is it possible to see a breakdown of the budget that you're proposing? Why not?
That's
On the internet,
yeah, it's online.
but on there for,
So why'd you say no then?
She should go to,
She doesn't have the budget in front of her.
For some of us who are new to this, and I apologize, I'm new to this.
Yes.
Is it a valid question because others may not know either?
Yes, absolutely. And yes, the proposed budget is online on the city's website.
Mayor, I know, some of the concerns were regarding the street sweeper, parks, Casting Park. If it's okay, can I ask Cassie to come up? I know she's probably talked with some of the residents during our, executive session, but, I would just like her to speak on that, cause there's a lot that goes into that, and, you know, I just would like for her to clarify. So if you didn't know, Cassie is in charge of community services, which also includes park, cemetery, public works.
Nope, not Public Works, that's a different department.
No, not public works, but parks.
Parks and Rec, Senior Center, Event Center, Cemetery, Pool, City Service, so City Events.
And so, if you don't mind, I know we've got a grant going on and the need for the street sweeper. That's okay, Mayor?
Absolutely.
Okay, so my department's not requesting the street sweeper, we're requesting the bucket truck, but that is another large investment. Every year we rotate which park we're spending money in. So we spent the $500,000 on the splash pad, and then we refinished the plaster on the pool at the request of the county in order for us to open again, and that was about $150,000. Again, I'm estimating because I don't know the exact dollar amount on the plaster for the pool. So we did those. When we did that, we cleaned out the pond because the splash pad flows through the splash pad into the pond. We do stock it for fishing, and it does keep it nice and fresh for the fish all year long versus it drying out like it used to. So we did that. And then we transitioned to Bewley Park, where we did the tennis and pickleball courts, and that was about $700,000, under $700,000? A little over $700,000. So now we're in the process of trying to do a 50-50 match grant with Texas Parks and Wildlife for Casting Park. up to $1.5 million. So we put that request in. The deadline was August the 5th. We won't know until the end of this year or the beginning of next year if that happened. That request comes in to resurface and redo the basketball courts, to redo the baseball field, the fencing, the bleachers for people, the spectators to sit, shade for players in either dugout, an upgrade to the pavilion, bathroom upgrade so that there's better bathroom facilities over there, an addition of a batting cage that would be there near the baseball field, as well as some better parking. So that is our plan right now. I do have that as a proposal. If anyone would like to see it, I'm happy to give you my business card and I can get it to you, or you can meet me. I office out of the Exchange. So that's currently on our plate. Casting Park is the next park we really want to upgrade and do work to. And we're just going to rotate through the 5 city parks that we have so that we can upgrade something when the money becomes available for us to do those things. Our big capital request this year would be the bucket truck. We currently have a bucket truck. It's a 1999. We bought it used and it's got 300 and some thousand miles on it. We're requesting one that's a little bit taller so that we can trim the trees at the cemetery. Parks also manages the cemetery on that 28 acres, but it would also allow us to do better on the Christmas lights on Main Street. We do put up the ornaments on the poles, utility poles. They used to be snowflakes, but now we had to replace them from damage. They were a number of years old. I believe we have what's called a Maruvian star, and the wreaths are what we put up now. We can't reach the tops of all of the buildings on Main Street right now because some of the roofs are not in the best shape, so the guys can't climb on the building, so we have to reach it from the outside. So if you'll notice this last year, there was a small handful of buildings that didn't have the Christmas lights on them because we couldn't access them. Sometimes we can use a truck from Heart of Texas Electric. A lot of times there's not one available, but if we can try to work with them to do something, we try to. That bucket truck would also help because the Parks Department is our default facility maintenance program as well. So if something is broken at one of the city buildings, they kind of get that service order to get it fixed or get it up and running. So being able to reach the things that they need to and be able to fix the things that they need to, that bucket truck. So Parks doesn't do that. The grapple truck that you're talking about that picks that up is done through the water department, streets, that's done through streets. So I don't have an answer for you, I'm sorry. But that doesn't come through Parks. And the bucket truck is the one where it's got the big bucket on it and it goes, this one's just taller. I couldn't answer that for you. I wouldn't have an answer, I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
About Castle Park, about your parks, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a regular time that you mow the different parks?
So they come in and mow and weed eat. Casting and Bewley Parks are between 5 and 6 acres apiece. Launchpad Park is 66 or 68 acres. And then Amsler Park is now, with the addition going up to the Adeline Crossing, 40? Okay, so about 40 acres. And then, so they manage all of those plus any city facility they mow and maintenance. So they try to put everything onto a schedule so they get to everything. And if they don't get to something, I'd always like to know, and I'm happy to give you my business card so you can reach out to me. Absolutely, yes, sir.
And Castle sometimes, and we recently had a family union gathering over there, and I go to all the parks, but I got a little grandbaby now. She like that splash pad mess. I take her out there. But everywhere else you cut. And sometimes when I'm over in Castle Park, but the weeds ain't supposed to be like that.
Okay. We can absolutely look into it. But if you see that, I'd like to just give you my card with my cell phone number on it, and you can call me whenever you see it so we can address it immediately versus being like, oh, look into it. I would love to just give you that way to reach me.
I don't like the park because there's no air conditioning out there, but I don't take my grandbaby.
We're also looking at a donated shade structure for over the top of the playground equipment at Casting Park. Allied is one of our industrial park members, and they had put the offer out there, and we're trying to work with them on getting something so that playground will be in the shade.
Thank you.
Yes.
At Castle Park, could you possibly look at having some trees put down?
Mm-hmm.
And
To better see, like the grass seating?
Seating.
Uh-huh.
Because it's not that much seating down there, and that park is huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful park, you know, but it just doesn't have very much in it. So if you
Yep.
find a way to add that to the budget of the park.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Thank you, Cassie.
Thank you.
Hmm?
Determines like what part, what gets what, you know what I mean?
So I have a community services board, and it's got 5 members to spend the money at this park. Okay, now we've done this, now where can we best spend the money at this park? Mike Wooten, I don't know if you're familiar with him, just resigned because he moved out of McGregor. He lives in Buda now with his grandkids. So I have 1 open position, and then I have 2 that are their terms expire. They've both expressed interest on coming back, but the council does what's in the best interest of that board. It's not always a returning member. If you have interest in being on the board, I'd love to. I gave you my business card already. Yep. So that board requires that you live in McLennan County and something else. The Community Services Board.
I think they're all inside the city, but I'm not sure.
I can get you those exact requirements. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
And
Are you done?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, with the parks too, you know, there was a bond that was done a while back, years ago, and so we had funds for the splash pad. So I hope you, when you come, I also want you to understand, it wasn't like casting was put off to the side. It's just, we had funding to get that project done at the splash pad. So we did it. Then money was set aside for building, or
Casting was the very first new park equipment we put out years ago. That was the first place we went.
with, you know, that. So again, it's, then parks, you know, can get a little old and worn and tore, but then we come back, and that's what, I'm the chair for this board that Cassie was talking about. You know, it's kind of like, okay, let's see, because you're correct when you say Billy is a beautiful park. All, not Billy, casting, all of them are good. My daughter plays softball out at the casting park, you know, for the McGregor Little League. So I just, again, I hope you guys can see what, you know, what we do out in our parks and in our stuff, you know, and anyways, just know your voice doesn't go unheard. We do hear you. And I'm sorry I said street,
It's okay.
different streets, but I don't know if Chad wants to talk about that.
About the sweeper?
Yes.
Sure. So the sweeper we have now is 22 years old, has 87,000 miles on it. It has about 14,000 miles on the engine, which is a lot of miles on an engine like that. It is a maintenance nightmare. I mean, there's no, everything that's on that is proprietary, so it's, Timco is the machine we have now. So all the parts have to come from Timco. You can't run to AutoZone and get, you know, most of the parts off that thing. The one we put in for is an Odra, which is a little cheaper unit. We feel like it will do a better job on the streets when we do sweep. We do sweep. You may not see it, but we sweep. The last 3 months, I think May and June were about 50 miles, and then July was 35 miles. So, but what I can do is when, I think we normally break it down into what zone we're in. Maybe we can do a little bit more of a breakdown and say this is the streets we're gonna be on when we do run the sweeper. So the Timco unit, the new Timco is 350 or even higher. So this is a less expensive unit that we're pursuing now, so.
Is this new one, can it only be used like for streets, like they've been talking about? Or can it be used on any?
Yeah, it can be used on any. Yep.
And there's a picture.
You mean
Yeah.
it sweep streets with potholes in them like there is everywhere?
Well, like my street, because my street's one of those that's like that. I mean, there are unfortunately potholes in streets, but I would like to, for everyone to call City Hall and say, and report, hey, I've got potholes on this street. And we can create, I mean, and that may still, well, we've got to have a way to track it. We have 65 or 67 miles of streets in McGregor. If you paved every foot of this town, it would be about $12 million to pave. It's not cheap to pave streets.
Is it true that when SpaceX goes off,
No.
pave them over because it happens again?
No.
Because that's what it
Thank you, Chad. Thank you for that.
Sure.
And, I don't know if Kevin wanted to talk about the $3 that the residents.
I probably know less about that than anything. It comes nowhere close to paying for the service, but that service is specific to that machine that we have, which is the grappler. And you put it out there, we'll pick it up. But please make sure you do it during your time. It's done by 1, 2, 3, 4 each zone each month. And it's got to be there that week, or it's going to be missed. And a lot of people were trained to just put it out, and so you'd have them put it out after the truck goes by, so you'd have a pile of junk sitting on the curb for a month. So if you'll understand the zone you're in, it's one of the hardest things for me to understand in my house. I know it's 3, but my wife keeps thinking it's 4, but that's another problem. So make sure you know your zone, and whatever that week is, that's when you put it out. And make sure it's out there before Monday, because they will drive the streets in that zone first thing Monday morning, and they will make a list. And if you don't put it out until Monday afternoon, they may have already been by and got that area, and they won't go back. So please make sure you get it out. I try to make sure I get mine out on Saturday, so there's no excuses. But that's the way that system works. The $3 a month comes nowhere close to paying for it, but it's a service council offers. Yes, ma'am.
When you said that you go about like that and they pick it up, are they responsible for sweeping up that Alexis that they leave behind? Those broken branches and stuff.
It's hard for them to do that, but they do try to carry a broom and stuff.
Well, because I know I used to have to call the city, and they would have to call those guys and tell them to come back to sweep this stuff up, because they would pick it up and just leave.
Call anytime you need to.
Branches and all that. Yeah.
If you notice a theme behind the things that those two people just said, and what I'm about to tell you, is use the phone, not Facebook. We don't have anybody monitoring Facebook. We have people that answer the phones all day, every day. And every one of us has their cell number on their card, including me. That's how we work.
And I'm sorry, Mayor, the only last thing, streets, I know you guys are talking about, potholes, and again, I think we can all be respectful of one another when we do talk about our city. McGregor is a good place to live. It's a great place for us to thrive with our families, and again, take care of our neighbor. And so when people, try to be rude, I would ask that everybody try to be respectful. We don't always have to agree, but we can talk and we can come up with a conclusion together. It's not political. I've already, I'm here for another 2 years, but at the same time, my thing was always, together we can be the change. And I just wanted to say that again today, because streets, how are we gonna know that a certain street isn't up to par if we're not telling the city? Again, a lot of times I'm not on Facebook, or the staff might not be on Facebook, like Kevin said, and we won't see that. But where you can be very productive is calling the city and saying, hey, my brush is out, or when is my zone up, so I know. Streets, we do have a street program. Chad has been working with our engineers, Kevin, doing a really good job. I mean, if you're maybe in just one part of McGregor, you might not see the whole picture, but we've actually done a lot of streets. A lot of infrastructure has been done, that needed to be done. Willoway, I know, was one of them. When I first got on council, I know that one was a big deal. And so again, your money is being used to improve your city, your water use, infrastructure, everything. You might not think something is needed, but when you see the big picture, McGregor is growing. We probably do need that third police vehicle, because we're now a bigger, wider area. There's more houses to watch over. So anyways, when we're talking with budget and those things, I know not just me, but everybody up here probably thinks the same thing. You guys are more than welcome to reach out even to us, city staff, and we can, again, we listen, we take it into consideration, and I just want you guys to know that.
I
don't know, Mayor.
totally
No.
appreciate what you just said. The problem with that is that we are asking to see the books, we're asking to see money, we're asking to see where everything's going, and you're not showing it
The
to
thing
us.
is that I'm gonna disagree with you because on our website, there is a budget there that shows you exactly line item per line item where things are being used.
What happens when it doesn't add up? When we're looking at the budget, we're looking at
You
the
can
budget,
give us
and
you
the
can,
math isn't mathing.
you can call City Hall.
But how are we gonna have confidence in calling City Hall when we can't even get a response here, other than you? I mean, I appreciate your transparency, but we don't get that from anybody else. From what I've seen since I've been here, you've spoken the most and addressed your position because you are on the Parks Board, but we haven't heard our questions to other things that are the bigger problem in this budget issue. I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate what everybody's doing, the veterans sitting up there, and all of that, but we're still not getting definite answers.
So again, we are in a public meeting, so if you do have a question, again, you can talk with your council member. Get
That's
with
what
them
we're here
after,
for.
get with them after,
That's
but we are
exactly
in a
why we're all
public.
here right now.
But we're here in a public, and that, we're all here, and that's the thing, is we're asking you, can this extra money that is from this data center, can it just be put, you're our council?
You are answering what you want to answer. That's what the public is feeling, and it's very evident.
Can it be put
I-
into
I-
our taxes?
You know, there's a reason why I asked everybody to hang out until after we came out of closed session. And there's some of your questions are gonna be answered here real quick,
Thank you.
okay?
If you have a question about numbers, that gentleman right there behind you, talk to you anytime he can.
But, you know, I am going to go ahead and continue on with this meeting. So ordinance 006-2026 is what is providing a severability clause and an effective date for our budget. So I will entertain a motion by ordinance number. That's number 4. That's ordinance 06-2026.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve ordinance, I'm trying to look at to read it. I make a motion that we approve ordinance 0-06-2026.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed, nay. That motion carries. Okay. Yeah, that's supposed to be a roll call vote. I'm sorry. I would apologize for that. Ward 1, Alfredo Macedo. Yes. Yay. Ward 2, Bonnie Mullins.
Yay.
Ward 3, Alex Garcia.
Yay.
Ward 4, Renee Flores.
Yes.
Ward 5, Sherry Adams.
Yes, yay.
And myself, Mayor, I am abstaining from the Blue Bonnet Water Supply Corporation budget line item. So that motion carries 5-0 with 1 abstention. Okay, item number, do we really need to do item 5? Because that's going to be taken care of in item 7.
Part of the requirement by the state.
Okay. Discussion and possible action to ratify property tax increase reflected in the fiscal year 27 budget. All right, well, what was proposed on the budget was a 3.5 cent increase to the tax rate, which was 0.531392, the new tax rate being 0.566988. The city, on the other hand, and it's my recommendation to council to go with the no new revenue rates of .531665.
I like that, Mayor. Cause I was gonna, no.
So do we just,
All right, so do we actually have to hold a vote on that to satisfy the state? Okay. So I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion, would we say ratify?
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
I make a motion to ratify, the no
New revenue
new revenue tax rate.
of .531665.
What is it again?
531665.
531665, reflected, well, it's not gonna be reflected in the budget, but for the budget of fiscal year 27.
All right. Shall we motion?
that.
And a
Second.
second. All those in favor, or, I'm sorry, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed, nay. That motion carries.
Do you wanna, maybe explain that, Mayor? I
Okay,
think
what,
some
what
people
that just happened
confused.
was, your taxes didn't go up. We're gonna try to find a way, find a way to fund the city with the equipment that is needed. And if that comes from sale of property, what have you, well, you know, we'll just have to bite the bullet on that one. But, thank you for coming out, thank you for speaking.
Thank you for listening.
Absolutely.
We'll be back tomorrow now.
Good, good.
We like to hear from you guys.
Yeah.
Y'all,
Keep me honest.
Be more publicized when the meetings are and all the things, even though it's on the website. Nobody looks at the website.
Well, we still have two more agenda items. Okay, item 6, discussion and possible action regarding the approval of ordinance O-07-2026, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of McGregor, Texas, approving the 2026 certified tax roll for the City of McGregor, Texas. This is the information that we received from the county telling us this is what we have to work with. So I would entertain a motion by ordinance number.
I make a motion we approve ordinance O-07-2026.
Done. Okay, that one can't be done by
do we
ordinance
have to
number.
say amended?
Huh?
No, this is what the county has sent us from the tax rolls. So we have done nothing to change that.
Yeah, no, we didn't change it.
I'll second.
Okay.
Okay. There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
We're just to certify the tax rolls.
Yes. Yeah, that's, like I said, that's the information that we got from the county.
No, no.
Okay, any further discussion on that, or we already vote on it?
I think we.
No, we
Yeah.
got a first and a second.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta vote.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. All right. Ordinance O-08-2026. Ordinance of the City Council of the City of McGregor, Texas, adopting a tax rate providing for the assessment, levy, and collection of ad valorem taxes for the City of McGregor, Texas for the year of 2026 on the taxable property within the corporate limits of the city as of January 1st, 2026, not exempt by law, providing revenues for the payment of current municipal expenses, providing for the collection of taxes and the enforcement of collections, and providing an effective date. So,
So we gotta say this is no
We-
new property.
We can't accept that.
huh?
It can't accept that. It's got the M&O is 31 and it's showing the increase.
Yeah, would we be able to say
Yeah,
amending that?
we could do that, amending it to the,
Gotcha.
Tax
Noting
rate.
that.
No,
okay, so
Do you entertain a motion there?
I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve ordinance O-08-2026. that the property tax rate be the no new revenue rate at 0.531665 per 100, which would effectively be, do we know what that percentage would be, Lee?
I think it's no increase.
No, it's not due tax increase.
No increase.
No, well, yeah, no new tax increase for the tax rate.
Yes.
I second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? That motion carries. City Manager, do you have any announcements for us?
I do not.
Council? Okay, so 9:05, we will adjourn.